All right, this is episode 10 of the Bartenders Anonymous podcast, and we are rolling. Let's see, what kind of bullshit do I got going on with my life? Where we left off, I was training a new job, blah, 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 DUI crap, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much sums it up, is new job and DUI crap. I've also been messing with my BMX bike quite a bit because when I have just hours to kill because I'm not working full time and it takes forever to start any of this DUI bullshit, which I think is part of the pain that they want to cause you, is just that it's just annoying. It's not so much the stuff that you have to do, it's just that it's annoying to get it going because it's like a meeting and then an appointment and then an interview and then a counselor, and then at some point maybe you'll start your classes. And so I'm like, every time I do get done with one, I feel like, okay, that's good, we're getting closer. And then they like schedule another, like, fucking gotta talk to this person now. I've met like 3 different people now. So, but got through another one. I had like a phone interview, answered a lot of the same bullshit, and some actually more difficult because they start getting kind of vague because they're kind of find out the like specific type of like alky that you are, and if you do like heroin on top of it. I'm like, no, I just got a fucking DUI. I don't do heroin or methamphetamines. I just like had one too many tequila Red Bulls and drove home. Can we get this shit over with? But again, that being said, that's my frustration coming out. I'm not that annoyed with it because I'm getting what I deserve and I'm going to go through it and blah, blah, blah. But it is annoying to be like just waiting for the next thing to be going through to get to the next thing and the hoops and blah, 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 blah. So, whatever. Got through another one, and now I have an appointment with a counselor next week. So I get to be counseled, which I'm sure I could use it. I'm not going to argue that. But I do still think it's stupid. So, whatever. All right, that rant is over for this section. Yeah. Lady was super nice, though, on the phone. Her dog's, like, barking in the background. She's like, sorry about my dog. It's like, it's okay. I get it. You're doing your job. I'm just trying to get this shit over with. Let's get it over with. And it was pretty painless, you know. Of course, there's a couple times where she's like, just between you and I, when's the last time you drank? Or whatever. She's, like, trying to be the cool mom. I'm like, yeah, am I going to go to jail if I answer this truthfully? She's like, no. I'm like, all right, here's the drinking I've done. But I've actually been good. I haven't drank in, looks like 27 days, so that's pretty good. I'm on a streak. I'm on a pretty good streak. Been just crushing soda water, though. Got some Liquid Death from Grocery Outlet. $10 for a whole case. Pff, hell yeah. Hell yeah. As far as the nicotine thing, yeah, I did my 3 days. It was good, and I'm just right back on it. I need that little something. Not that I have anxiety, but man, that nicotine just takes the edge off, you know? Like, I'm feeling a little awkward. Like, pop one of those bad boys in. I feel less awkward. Give me a soda water. I'm right as rain. It's really stupid, but, you know, the human brain is kind of stupid, so whatever makes you feel better and get through the fucking day. Well, let's see. I got some notes here. Let's go to the notes. Thank you to all 2 of my new subscribers. I love you guys. Pushing the channel forward. Maybe someday I'll have some listeners that don't know me. But for now, this is a good audio log just for you guys to keep up to date with me. Oh yeah, back to the BMX bike. I spent the whole afternoon putting this stupid thing together, and you know when you're doing something you love, but as soon as you realize it, all of a sudden it's like, well, now it's stupid. Like you're you're doing something you legitimately like, and for like a second you're vibing. You're like, this is awesome. But then as soon as you think that, you go, this is so cool. I'm doing what I love. And then you go, oh, that's so gay that I thought that. oh shit, now I can't stop thinking about it. Oh my God. Like I had that thought because I was like, look at me. I'm in my garage. I'm tinkering around. Freaking got my old BMX bike. We're fixing her up. And look at you, buddy. You're doing good. You got some music on or podcast or something. And I'm got my tools and I'm tinkering and it's coming together. You know, you're like, when you start feeling the progress, it's a really good feeling. And it did feel good. But as soon as I thought that, I was like, fuck, I hate it now. And I couldn't stop thinking about it, which is such a terrible trait to have. But I feel like everybody has that, where it's you're legitimately having a good time doing something, and then as soon as you recognize it, it's like, oh, the moment's over. I fucked it up with my stupid brain. And so I did that, and it took me hours, and I finally put this stupid bike all together. And I was like, oh man, that chain's actually not loose, and my cranks are all on there, tightened up the wheels, and I went and like hopped on it, and I was like, man, this feels kind of weird. And I went to pedal, and it just like went, and it didn't go forward. And I pedaled backwards, and it went backwards, and I was like, motherfucker, I put this bitch on fucking backwards. I put it on the wrong side. So the drivetrain was on the right side, or whatever side it's like supposed to be on. I put it on the wrong side, and I had taken the cranks all apart and everything, and tightened the chain, and put it all back together the wrong way, as one does. And I feel like I do that almost every time I put something together, where you go through all the time to do it, and you get it all, everything, the last bolt is tightened, and you go, look at that, and it's wrong. It's fucking wrong. And of all the times I've done that with like piece of shit Amazon furniture and bikes or whatever, or equipment of any kind, and I still haven't learned to just like do it right the first time. I gotta fuck it up, and then I gotta take it all apart and put it back together. Now there is something to be said about doing that, because then you're getting reps. You're getting practice. But that immediate, like, where you're riding high, and then all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, you fucking idiot. You did it. Look at what you did. You did it wrong. You do everything wrong. So, yeah, I did that with the bike. But then I had to take this thing apart, and I think I might have waited. I had to take an hour off. I was like, we're going to come back to this, because if I touch it right now, I might throw it through the freaking window. So I just put it down. I was like, yeah, it looks really nice. It's on the wrong side, but whatever. We'll deal with that later. So I went and did something else, and yeah, came back to it slowly, and I'm like, all right, let's take it apart, be methodical with this, and put it back together the right way. And I did, and I got it back together, and I think the parts that I have are just like, they're just a little wrong, because it's just a Frankenstein bike that I'm just such a cheap ass that I don't like to throw stuff away, and so I jimmy rig it and try and make it work, and the parts are just off a little bit. But the next day I like went back to it, and I was like, well, if I tighten this up and do this, and now it's actually functional, and I got a good feeling out of that. I rode it around the block. Speaking of riding it around the block, I got up early the other day, and I was like, all right, I got that bike like as tip top as it's gonna be, and I'm like, okay, I got up early. I'll go to the park. There's like nobody at the park. And no brakes on this thing. We go no brakes, YOLO, right? And so I'm kind of cruising, and there's like a downhill, and then it goes into a blind corner. And at first I was slowing down, and my it makes a pretty cool, like, you know, the noisy BMX noise. So like I'm like, okay, I'm loud. If there's somebody around the corner, they'll know I'm coming. They'll get the fuck out of the way. And I'm like shoving my shoe in the tire, slow it down, and then I just like, oh, fuck it. I let off. And so I'm just like hauling around this corner, and lo and behold, it's the one other person at the park is coming around that blind corner, and I'm like, oh, fuck, sorry. And they jump to the other side of the path, kind of get out of the way, and I veer off to the left, and I almost run into, they got these stupid horseshoe pits that nobody uses. They're just these rusty iron daggers sticking out of the ground, and I kind of, oh, shit, go left, go right, kind of weave in between them. And I just have to just laugh to myself that it's like, of course. Like everything I do, it seems like it's just got to be kind of fucked up. I almost killed the one other person at the park. I'm up, it's like 8 in the morning. I almost run into freaking Uncle Steve walking around the blind corner with my stupid BMX bike. I'm 32 years old. And yeah. So I'm laughing kind of maniacally at my stupidity. And I just carry on and I go around the park and end up back home. But overall, it was a positive thing because I'm like, oh, I got this bike running. It hasn't been functional in probably like 5 years. So fuck it. Fuck that guy. It's all good. Nobody got hurt. I weaved like a BMX guy in between the rusty iron things. It was cool. It felt good. It was really scary for that 2 seconds, though. I'll tell you that. Right, meow. So, whatever. BMX bike. Mission accomplished for the most part. And then... what else I got? Oh, yeah. Speaking of the job. Nobody's speaking of the job. I'm just in my head thinking of things to say. But, yeah, so the guy that I'm like, oh, that guy's a fucking idiot. He's not going to work here anymore. No, of course, I go in the next day to train for, like, it was my last day of training for bartender. And then I'm just going to get thrown to the wolves. And there's this dude that I've never seen before. He looks younger than me, but it's hard to tell. And he's like, oh, you the bartender? And I was like, yeah, I'm like training, I'm learning. He's like, oh. And kind of doesn't say anything. Goes and he's like kind of dilly-dallying around. And he's, I hope he doesn't ever listen to this. I don't know. Maybe I'll end up being really good friends with him. But, yeah, because like it didn't really work out for him being a bartender. And so they asked him if he wanted to do wait staff. I thought he would just quit, but he decided he's going to take the wait staff route. So so I go in for my next day of training, and he's there. And I've just heard everybody talk all this shit about him. And then I got to look at his dumb face and like make drinks, and he's watching me bartend and da-da-da. And like at one point, because it was kind of busy, I think it was a Friday. And so I was just stuck in the well the whole night just making drinks. And the veteran bartender or whatever, she was doing the till and the phone calls and taking care of the guests. And so I was just basically making server drinks all night, which is fine. Like, that's good for me to just get reps. And like halfway through the shift, that guy's like, you're doing a great job. And I'm just like, thank you, man. Like, and he's a nice dude. He just, I don't know, he's just a little goofy. But after like just interacting with him a little bit, I was like, okay, I get it. We don't need to shit on him that bad because he's just obviously off a little bit. He's a little goofy. Like maybe socially, I don't know. Maybe a little Asperger's-y or something. But nice enough dude, whatever. But it was just funny that I was like, yeah, I'll probably never have to meet that guy, da-da-da. And then he's like, there he is, and I have to see him all night. And at one point, I was like closer to the end of the shift, and he's like, so are you gonna do wait staff or are you just bartending? And I was like, oh, I'm just bartending. Like, no, I'm not waiting tables. I didn't say it like that, but in my head I was like, I'm not waiting tables, I'm a bartender. And then like a day later, I get a text or call or whatever from the owner. She's like, hey, so tomorrow I wanted you to come in and train as a server just to get you some practice and stuff. And I'm just like, yes, of course. That is a good idea. I need to do that. Get off my high horse, my bartending high horse, and go wait some tables. And my trainer, she was cool. I just like followed her around all night, and we both are scribbling down orders, and she let me put the orders in on the screen. So I got some practice with the POS, and so it was fun. It was fun, but it's funny because I have like a totally different perspective because I'm like kind of doing this job for fun because I'm not like stressing about money right now because I cashed out my 401k like an idiot, but whatever. YOLO! And so I'm just like, yeah, this is kind of fun. And she's like, works full time, has 3 kids or whatever, and she's trying to, be a good mom and support her family and da-da-da. And so it's like, yeah, it's not real fun. And I'm just like, yeah, we're taking orders, whatever. So I don't know. Hopefully I can bring some lightened mood to the place and kind of, I don't know, make the environment more fun and friendly. But first, I got to survive this Saturday night tomorrow, so that'll be my real shit show. So tomorrow, I think, is my first day that I'll kind of have the till by myself, and I'm probably just gonna get my ass fucked. But I'll try my best. We'll get through it. It'll be fine. But it was funny that I was like, nah, I ain't waiting tables. Literally the next time I work, waiting some tables. So that's kind of funny. Ha ha ha. What else? I don't know what else. Oh, we're in a stupid like a group text from work, and like I don't know anybody's numbers except the owner, and they like a message from the owner, and it's like, where's the invoice for the liquor order? Like just asking everyone. And I'm like trying to be helpful, I'm the new guy. I'm like, oh, I'll chime in. I was like, oh, I talked to Jessie, and she said she was doing the liquor order. So I don't know how the check works or whatever, or who does the invoice, but like Jessie told me she ordered a bunch of liquor. And the next message from just a random number that I don't know who it is like, that doesn't answer the question. And I was just like, all right, like I'm not messaging this group anymore. I'm going to just take a step back, let you guys figure that out. So maybe I'll just not chime in on the group text from now on until I know what the fuck I'm doing. They're like, shut up, new guy, basically, without saying it. And I'm like, that is fine. I will shut up until I know what I'm doing, and then I might chime in again. So for now, just be the new guy. Shut up. Be the anonymous bartender. And I can just come on and I'll yap on my podcast. And hopefully they don't listen to it. But I also kind of don't give a fuck. And that's like why I quit my last job. Because I just want to be able to say what I want to say. And do my dumb podcast for my very loyal 6 fans. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. I'm excited to get my butt handed to me. See if I got anything else on here. Oh, I've been playing with the stock market. That was kind of fun. Got my little 401k chunk, I'm like, oh, can't just have that sitting in my account. I got to throw that in the market. And so, when I do something, I get invested time-wise, and so I'll get up early because I've been getting up early anyways, so I get on my computer, and I got my little notepad, and I'm looking at stocks and trying to look at trends and stuff, and kind of watch some videos on how it works. And so I'm literally for an hour just on here just pretending I'm a damn stockbroker and not investing in anything yet because I'm too scared. But it's kind of fun to go on and just look at stocks and just do some research and look at a company and go, oh, what's going on with this company? And all of a sudden I'm deep diving on the CEO, and I'm seeing how much money they're making, and I'm like, oh, I'm not investing in this company. So I don't know, but it's kind of fun. Just do something different with all my time on my hands. So been trying to stay busy, play with my BMX bike, invest in the stock market, do my podcast. And I'm getting this up kind of late. I realize it is Friday. This will be up. It's 10 o'clock right now. I'll upload this in a half hour or so. But the lady of the house had yesterday and today off, and I cannot do this with someone else in the house. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but if there's anyone in the house, my thoughts are different, my demeanor, everything, because you just of judgment. So if anybody's listening to this live, I can't handle it. It'll fuck up my whole my what do you call it? Your stream of consciousness or whatever. So, and I was running around with her today because there's a kind of a local band that she follows around that she's friends with, has been friends with, grew up with, and their band's they're doing really good. Very happy for them, doing their thing, and they're playing downtown tonight. And so I went down there, but I'm not drinking right now, and music crowd, all that live music kind of stuff. Everybody's gonna be drinking, they're doing their thing, totally cool. I would be doing it too, but I'm not right now because my stupid DUI. So vibe's a little weird for me. And then, so she's like, we're like in there because they got their trailer set up and stuff, and they're super nice. We like go into their trailer and we're like bullshitting with them before they go set up. And, but I don't have that social lubricant. So I'm just like sitting there drinking my soda water, my nicotine pouches. And like, I'll chime in conversation here and there, try and get a chuckle. But on the inside, I'm dying because I'm just like, it doesn't matter how nice you guys are. I'm like, everybody gets a beer. I don't get a beer. I'm in your trailer. You guys are doing really good. I'm happy for you. But it really makes me want a beer. But whatever, we got out of there, and then since I'm not drinking, the next thing is food, right? So I'm like, I gotta get some food in me, and so they're like, we go bar hop a little bit. They get some shots, and I'm just trying to get a damn burger or chicken sandwich or something, and not even thinking about it, I get probably the smelliest sandwich I could have found at a dive bar, and not even like thinking about this whatever, and so I get a buffalo blue cheese chicken sandwich. That's just a mess. And so I get it to go, and I'm like, I'll just get it to go. I'll just sit down. I'll just go hide somewhere and munch it. And they're like, oh no, you come to the merch booth or whatever. And so I'm like, are you sure? I'm like eating this nasty sandwich and stuff. And they're like, no, it's fine. Of course, they're like, they've had 3 shots of tequila. They're like, yeah, whatever, it's cool. Literally give me a lawn chair and it's like for me to sit in the corner. Immediately, I'm blocking the fucking path for the artist to come and go. And so I'm like, okay, not sitting there. So I scoot over one. I'm still awkwardly in the way, but like there's room for people to walk in between. And I'm just like, all right, well, I'm going to eat this chicken sandwich because whatever, who gives a shit? And they said it's fine. So I'm like, open it up. I'm like, here, you guys want some fries? Have some fries. I'm going to eat this disgusting sandwich. So I start mowing on my buffalo blue cheese pickle monstrosity. And like as soon as I take a bite, some dude that I've probably met before, but we're both hammered. He seems a little hammered right now. And he's like, starts talking to me. He's like, who are you? Just kidding. Like fucking joking, like flicking me shit. And I'm just like eating my sandwich. Like, I've probably met you before. And he's just like, yapping, and I'm just like mowing this stupid sandwich, and finally he kind of goes away, and my lady there, she's like, do you smell puke? I think somebody puked in this garbage can. I'm like, oh, gross. Like, whatever, I'm just fucking mowing on my gross sandwich, and band starts playing, so it gets kind of loud, and like one of the ladies that's like running the merch booth is like, God, it smells like fucking shit. And they're just like, I think somebody puked in this garbage can. And I kind of lean over to the guitarist's girlfriend, and I'm like, I think it might be my sandwich. And she's like, no. And I'm like, I think it might be. And I'm like, just take the last bite so it's gone or whatever. She's like, oh, maybe it is. They're just like, yeah, it smells like shit. Like I hear somebody else say it. I'm just like, okay, that's my cue. I'm like, anybody want these fries? Hand off the fries. That's my peace offering. I don't acknowledge the smell again. I'm just like, all right, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to sneak off. So I tell my lady, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go home. You do your thing. Have fun with your friends. It's all good. I'll see you later. You guys can come over to the house if you want. Drink. I don't care. I don't got shit going on. And in my head, I'm like, I just can't wait to go home and do the podcast and bring up my smelly sandwich. But it's like, just of course, with my dumb life, something as simple as like eating a sandwich turns into like an awkward, like, like I'm sitting in the way. I'm like, I didn't even want to sit in the merch booth. They like insisted that it's cool. And then I stink up their fucking merch booth with blue cheese and buffalo chicken. And then just dip the fuck out. And I just was walking home, just laughing to myself, like, oh, it's so. I can literally smell it in my beard. I still have the smell in my beard. I was like, so obvious that it's like, yeah, that's what the smell was. Is me eating my gross food. Because I can't drink, so I'm eating some gross, some stinky blue cheese, I guess. So that was fun. So yeah, they're down there doing their music thing, having a good time, drinking White Claws or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, I just got to get home, knock out this podcast, and put it up so that I'm consistent, releasing on Friday. No podcast complete without a burp. Blue cheese burp. Oh, me. Whatever. All right, so that's the week. The Bartenders Anonymous podcast. Gonna sign off here. Maybe I can find a jingle. I got a little jingle for the beginning. Hit up my buddy John. Hopefully he can. I would love for him to like do something actually cool because I'm getting tired of these samples already. I'm running out of artistic samples that I can just mush together and go, yeah, that's a good intro. Yeah, that's a good outro. Because he actually knows how to like make music. So sometimes I'll get on and I'll try and like turn on an electric guitar on my keyboard and try and make 3 sounds that sound nice, and it's just not, as of right now, it just doesn't work for me. So I'm gonna try and pawn that off to my buddy. I would love for him to do a little 20-second intro with something actually cool. If he wants to and he's got time, you know. But that being said, I'm gonna fuck off. Yeah, next week I'll let you know if I survived the Saturday at the new job. I mean, I'll survive, but it's just a matter of how awkward I limp through it, and if I break anything or piss off the server or owner, or whatever. I can't really prepare for it. I just got to show up and hope for the best. So, have a good week. Love you guys. Peace be with you. And, yeah, talk to you next week. Peace.